Welcome to Car Talk, where we talk everything about car. Today, we have a rather unique prospect. A JETOUR Dashing. What is a JETOUR? What is this car? What does this car signify? We will explain in our review video later on. So, what is a JETOUR? What is JETOUR Dashing? JETOUR is a brand. Dashing is the model. Done. End of story. At the moment, JETOUR in Malaysia, there's only two vehicle model. This is the 5-seater Dashing, and they have a similar model with 7 seats. It's called VT9. Then JETOUR is actually a brand, yet another sub-brand from Chery. But rather strangely and rather uniquely, in Malaysia and in other parts of the world other than China, Chery and JETOUR is actually two separate entities. You can understand JETOUR as the not so close son stepdaughter of Chery Group. Hence, they have their own independent board member, whatnot. Even in Malaysia, they are not part under Chery Malaysia Group, but they are quite standalone in that case. So enough about the brand. And as a matter of fact, this brand is rather young. There's not much history or trivia to be shared upon. The only trace that I can find regarding to this car, JETOUR Dashing, is in Wikipedia, whereby it's called Chery Tigor 6. Chery Tigor 6 does have a rather similar exterior compared to this, the shape. Chery Tigor 6 here, so you can make your judgment. So as I've mentioned earlier, JETOUR is actually somewhat like a stepson or stepdaughter for Chery Group, and at Malaysia it's not being distributed under Chery Malaysia, but it's called JETOUR Malaysia. And as a matter of fact, if you follow economy news, financial news, if you know who is Vincent Tan and Berjaya Group, they are the one who actually invested in this brand and set up a factory in Johor for their CKD businesses, which means this car will be CKD in Johor. Let's move on to the exterior of this vehicle. So for this vehicle, the JETOUR Dashing, the exterior design is a little bit, you can say, unconventional. It is actually quite a huge SUV. It is not a C-segment SUV like CR-V. It is actually a D-segment SUV, which makes it a more interesting prospect. Currently in Malaysia, it's only selling for 118,000. 118. For the similar price, you can go for X50, X70, the smaller WRV, blah blah blah. But if you are looking for a car with the largest amount of space, this might be an interesting option for you. Exterior design. According to the JETOUR official website and their press, this car is inspired by mecha design, whatever that means. And Dashing, the direct translation from Chinese is actually a sound translation. In Chinese, it's 大圣, 齐天大圣. What does that mean? Long story short, Monkey King. So I personally feel that this front fascia might have a little bit to do with the Chinese traditional art, the mask of the Monkey King here. Then some say it looked like a mecha design from Jaeger, for example, the Pacific Rim. Depends on what you understand it. You can see that this is actually the headlamp. This is actually the DRL signal, very common nowadays. Then you have this grille with slotted this here. The shape of it is nothing conventional, yet not really striking. So you can say it's a unique design. At least the good news is it's not having any shades of other brand. It does have its own identity. Yeah, and also you can look at here, there's a slogan here called Drive Your Future. 4 of them. Moving on from the front design to the side design. So the front design for me, I feel like it does have something to do with the front fascia of the Monkey King, pun intended. Not sure if it's true or not. Then for me, it also looks somewhat like the hammerhead shark picture here, so you can make a comparison. Then you can see this rather straight and angular lines here that create a very bulky front end, and it goes all the way to the body line. So if you look at the lens now, you can see here actually has a curved line here, then with a very sharp and straight line down here. So does it suit your aesthetic taste? Up to you. So you can see the side profile, then here goes straight up, then slope down all this way, and here this is a very signature chrome pieces that goes down here. So these two pieces of chrome that create the window line. Then you have this one bulky line that goes all the way here, and disappear at the door handle. Then another fender line here that goes all the way here. Then you also have these two lines that create an illusion here and a piece of material here to create a shorter, narrower body line, a shoulder line. Okay, plastic cladding material. Looking at the side profile, does it shout any other car brand? I don't think so. Maybe you would think that, but for me, I feel like it's alright. It's not really that much of different car brand image inside. In a way, it's quite genuine for me, at least based on my understanding. Then there's one key feature that I wish to introduce more, or should I say to catch your attention for. Just look at this angle here. Usually, for the front door, most cars will go up and go straight. This front door is rather triangular all the way. And you can see this front windscreen is rather sloping to the body. It's quite raky. The angle is quite big. So this is 90 degrees, then you can see it's quite sloping. So does it actually affect the ingress and egress or the ergonomic? Surprisingly not, but it's just a little bit unconventional. For the rear door, no surprise. As you can see, the rear door is actually almost longer than the front door. Also worth mentioning that this color, JETOUR Malaysia officially named it as Aurora Green. So I'm a person who have a slight color recognition deficiency. You can understand it as color blindness. In my eyes, it looked like black or very dark blue or green. So let me know if you like this color or not. Okay, let's move on to the rear. So let's look at the rear design of this JETOUR Dashing, and you can see that this rear brake lamp, surprisingly, it's not the trendy one-piece style brake lamp. Nowadays, it's a traditional two-piece. And if you look at the details here, it does have some elements that mimic checker flag. Nike swoosh here. My colleague feel like it's look a little bit like brand L, but among all the Cherry vehicle or the Moda vehicle, I feel like this is already acceptable. But if you squint your eye, it does shout some very typical Japanese SUV. Not a bad thing, because sometimes, most of the time, it's like if you want to make a burger, everybody would make the same way. Two pieces of bun, one patty in the middle. So it is what it is. Then you look at here, it's a massive plastic cladding here. Then the diffuser for the sporty white. And there's no exhaust tips. The exhaust tip is hidden down there. I guess that's about it. You have a, seems to be quite sloopy rear window, but visually it's being hidden by this piece of chrome signature piece here, so it doesn't look that big at this segment. But let me reassure you that this is actually a very big D-segment SUV. It's very comfortable and it's very big. So moving on to the boot. Electronic tailgate. Yep. And no surprise, power tailgate. There's no hooks here. There's only one here, and that's about it. A tonneau cover, very normal. And then you do have a spare tire here, a space saver spare tire, and that's it. Nothing special. This car is actually surprisingly simple. So as you can see from the video, the ingress and egress of the rear seat, not much of a problem. And one major highlight is the floor plan. You can see this is actually almost flat. You can see it's flat. Then it does come with a center armrest. Okay, then you can see here, almost everything is wrapped in fox leather. Of course, this is a budget car, it's not going to be real leather. Or fox leather, you can see. Yeah, they're not going to be Napa leather at this price point, right? Nothing unique about this, okay? Plastic, fox leather, plastic, the small speaker lookalike or Twitter lookalike, and this is the speaker. Okay, then you have a door pocket that can store drinks and whatnot. Here, the pocket. Here, a tray. Then there's USB-C, USB-A to a convent, and that's about that. So, is the rear seat inclination can be adjusted? Unfortunately, no. It's a simple car. Okay, no, then this is the reading light, a button operated reading light, and that's about that. The only thing that are adjustable for the rear seat is this, the headrest. And that's about it. No more. Yep. It's a simple car. Nothing much fancy about it. So now let's talk about the front seat and also the driving ergonomics. If you don't know, this is the key of the JETOUR. For some reason, I do not know why, it does not come with the approach unlock and walk away lock. So it's a traditional, I'm not sure if it's a good word now, a traditional keyless entry where you need to place your thumb or your finger to press on the button on the door and unlock the vehicle with the key in your pocket. So yeah, and it does not come with any smart link application, no. None of them fancy gizmos. Good old keyless entry. Essentially, it is a JETOUR Malaysia lookalike key. Then let's start up the car. Look at the interior, the screen layout. Yeah, it does have a starting music. It's like operating a Windows XP or Nokia. Dun 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 dun. Does have that JETOUR's. So you can see here, okay, two screen setup and a steering wheel that look uncannily similar at this part with Mercedes-Benz. This is a very typical cherry thing. And here, a little bit hint of Mercedes-Benz. Here, a little bit hint of BMW, but nothing bad about it. So let's talk about the ergonomics. Surprisingly, this car, the ergonomics is also rather, I wouldn't say flawless, but rather okay. This is a left-hand drive to right-hand drive commercial vehicle. So I need to do the belly button test, and yes, it's actually straight point on in the middle of the driver. And the car utilizes organ pedal, throttle pedal and a normal brake pedal. So the ergonomic on the driving footwell there is surprisingly okay. And let's look at the material. Here is of course fox leather with real stitching. Here PVC, this is all PVC. Okay, then there's some design elements here. Not sure why, fancy stuff. And this is a piece of plastic garnish for the signature silver look. And this is the plastic too. So you can see everything here is plastic. But does it mean a bad thing? No, because at least it's practical. Okay, the fit and finish is surprisingly okay. You did not feel any sharp edges or loose bits. You can see this. It doesn't feel loose. Everything is solid. Do you hear the creaks and cracks? No, everything is alright. Then you have this armrest with a cubby hole, and of course you have that refrigerator style, the ventilation inside. Then you have this soft release glove box. Okay, then an owner manual which I have read. Okay, then other than that, not much. So you have a wireless charging pad here and a compartment here for you to connect your USB chargers, a power outlet, and that's about that. For those with sharp eyes, you will notice why there's no camera or anything here. Don't worry, because from what we heard, JETOUR Malaysia is considering to introduce a JETOUR Dashing variant with ADAS installed. For now, they do not have a ADAS variant. They are selling for 118,000. So if they introduce ADAS, maybe it will be slightly more expensive. I do not know. Waiting for them to officially announce it. Here we have this glove box and the sunroof. Okay, and that's about it. We have this. Okay. To be honest, it's a good old simple car. They don't have a glove box here either, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing I can nitpick about this car. And this car is surprisingly simple. Good old engine, good old gearbox, good old key, mechanical door latch. Apart from the exterior one is the fancy aerodynamic flush vent now, but you can still use it as a mechanical vent. Just need to put your finger in and poke it out. Not so user friendly. Then you have this a little bit small screen, but it's alright. Then you have these knobs here that look a little bit like BMW iDrive, but the function is much more lesser than that. It's a good old function. A good old 7-inch infotainment screen and a 7-inch. This is a dashboard display. The UI design is rather straightforward and simple. RPM on the right side, speed on the left side. Then there's no ADAS, so here is the range and anything. If anything, if I wanted to complain about UI, it's just the range info here. The wording is a little bit too small, but other than that, everything is clear cut. Then you can look at the menu. Okay, this is the first time in a very long while that I see there's not enough icons to fill up the screen. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only 9 icons on the screen. You go to the vehicle setting, and there's not much you can set. Only the tailgate opening, the rear view mirror, okay, the window, how much they open and close, okay, and drive. For drive, there's also only 2 modes. It's either sport mode or eco mode. Power steering, the weight, it's either comfort or sport. It's not linked to each other. And what makes it more interesting is when you are driving, you want to change mode. Unfortunately, you can't do so. You have to do it from the touchscreen, which is rather weird. But again, this is a straightforward, simple car. Is there any other special driving assistance or ADAS in this variant? No, only blind spot monitoring and door open warning. That's it. The theme of this car is simple and fuss free. So you can understand it as the least amount of budget to buy the simplest car possible to be used as a school bus, maybe? Not that I hate it. Yep, this car does not have hydraulic strut. I assume it's because of the budget reason, and God, this is heavy. So underneath the big engine bay is a puny engine, a 1.5 liter turbo with 6-speed dual clutch transmission. A lot of them looking at the exterior and they thought, wow, a very unconventional exterior. Is it an EV? Is it a PHEV? Is it an IEEV? Whatever it is. And as a matter of fact, in China, JETOUR Dashing does have other powertrain variant, but in Malaysia, at least only in Malaysia at the moment, they only introduced one powertrain option, which is this, a 1.5 liter turbo with 6-speed dual clutch transmission. Power figure wise, it's 156 horsepower and 230 Newton meter of torque. So is it enough for this car? We will drive and find out later. There's no special battery, there's no hybrid, no nothing. Yup, simple. This car is really simple. Under this massive, what's wrapping this massive 19-inch tires is YT Control P10 tires, tire size 235/55R19 for all 4 wheels. If I'm not wrong, this car does come with a 2 variant, Prime and Comfort, Comfort being the entry level and Prime is what we have here. And all of them come with the same rim and tire setup. Underneath the rim, it's the McPherson's front suspension and multi-link rear suspension. Let me tell you what, this car, when it comes to ride and handling, it's surprisingly good. I will share it later in the driving review. So we will begin to drive this car, and as usual, I will do the engine startup test. Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder 1.5 liter turbo engine sound, so nothing fancy. But even though all the numbers and all the figures, all the specification, it does suggest that this is a simple car, basic car that have not much unique selling point. But upon driving this car, I do notice that it's actually getting very matured and very close to the traditional Japanese vehicle that we know about, which is a scary thing. It means that China and automotive manufacturers are playing the catch-up game really well. Then they can get there in no time. Actually, as a matter of fact, they are really close now. So the seat that I'm sitting right now, okay, being the top of the line variant, it does come with front, rear inclination and also the lumbar support, and that's it. There's no any additional features like memory seat, whatnot. And if I'm not mistaken, the passenger side seat only came with electric adjustable for front, rear and inclination. That's it. Simple, straightforward. Then the powertrain is 6-speed dual clutch. The name suggests it is. Then the engine horsepower is only 150-ish. Then the torque is only 200-ish. It's not much, and this is a very big car. If I'm not mistaken, the weight is about 1.6 ton. All those numbers, all those figures add in, and coupled with all the EVs and the modern cars that we have been bombarded by, the numbers and the figures, keyboard warriors like it, and you will notice that maybe this is not an impressive car to begin with, but boy, I'm wrong. This car, as simple as it sounds, is actually packed with essence, and maybe that is what we actually need when it comes to a daily vehicle. So let's drive. So even though it's a dual clutch transmission, from the get-go, it doesn't feel jerky. As a matter of fact, it's really smooth, like traditional torque converter automatic gearbox kind of smooth. And you also can hear that the NVH of this vehicle from the get-go it's surprisingly well. Don't get me wrong, most car also can do this level now, but it's actually better than I expected. Given the price point, it's only less than 130,000 for this vehicle. And even the engine is only 1.5 liter, the gearbox only have 6 speed, but everything is very well calibrated. So the car does feel, I wouldn't say effortless, but at least it wouldn't feel lethargic to drive. So now I'm driving in eco mode only, not even sport mode. From the get-go, it's easy. Then when I slow down, the brake is surprisingly good too. Let me pop my kick down. And I believe you can hear it from the engine, the noise, that the car responded quite well. And let's talk about the handling. The handling is also quite okay. For the given time I have with this car, I have set the steering into sport mode all of the time because I prefer a heavier steering. But the steering is not 100% numb. I still can feel some of the road surface, not much, but at least I can know that this part of the road is tarmac and that part of the road is cobbled. Through my palms, it tells me via the steering, and the suspension is quite poised and supple. I think Proton is in big trouble because they have been very proud about their right-hand handling. What does it mean by right-hand handling is you get the comfortable of ride, yet you can get the enough support for handling, which is actually rather contradicting. So you want something like sweet and spicy, hot and cold. So it's best of both worlds in a way. And Proton has been managed to strike it most of the time. And for Chinese vehicle, they are not able to do it most of the time. Disclaimer, it's really first time ever. They are able to strike it. I cannot help but think, in some way, it's actually better than the Proton X70. If you don't trust me, go for a test drive and you will notice that this car, the drivetrain is more refined, the body, it's more balanced, the steering is more precise. You can feel that this car is actually been designed and engineered properly. You know, they are cutting corners in some places. For example, they have a less fancy screen, they have less toys, they don't even have ADAS, but they spend their money on somewhere which I personally feel important, which is the connection with the driver, the practicality and ease of use. And this car, they're able to strike it. So they come with flappy pedal shifters and it's quite quick. So as you can see, okay, 5, 4, 3, step on the throttle. This is turbo lag. Yeah. And now we need to stop the brake. Yeah, I mean the handling of this SUV is surprisingly good. Yep, it's not a fast car, it's not a blisteringly quick Type R, but you need to remember this is just a family car. Back then, you need to make a lot of compromise. For example, if you want to go for space, you need to compromise on ride and handling, or should I say you should compromise on handling and driving feel. If you go for handling and driving feel, you need to compromise on the comfort or space. But this car, so far, the only short change I see is maybe slightly less power compared to others. But after Proton has used the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine, as opposed to the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, everybody feels almost the same. Even the Honda HR-V feels the same. HR-V uses a CVT transmission, so it does not feel that direct. But for this, it uses a 4-cylinder engine, it uses a dual-class transmission, so it feels direct. The more I think about it, the more I feel like maybe when it comes to practicality and driving enjoyment, you don't need much of a compromise. Yeah, this is not a driving machine, I know. It doesn't look like it. But trust me, go for a drive and you will notice that there's a lot of changes that JETOUR, or in that case maybe the mother group Cherry, have something to do about it, or Malaysian suspension version has something to do about it. But this car is actually quite nice to drive, and I hate to admit it, but it's actually quite nice to drive. Now I'm driving 4000 RPM, the turbo kicking in. You can see this is full beans and the NVH is still okay. I'm going around 110 km/h now. Downshift, downshift, downshift. Okay, turn the steering. It's just alright. So, yeah, what more could you ask for? 120,000. Okay, that's only slightly more compared to a Honda City or a Toyota Vios. You can get a car with this size, especially for those who are shopping for SUV. If you want power, it's not slow. It's definitely not slow. If you feel like the acceleration is not to your expectation, just drop a few gears, let the turbo work it out, and the car start cold. Yeah, and this is at 5,000 RPM. That's the noisiest it can get. Let's talk about conclusion of this vehicle. At first glance, it does not look impressive on the paper. No matter exterior, interior, specification, accessories, package, number, yes, it's not impressive at all. But given some time with the vehicle, I feel like, wow, it seems like taking all the basic rights. It's actually nice to drive, the driver's seat is enjoyable, the suspension tuning is alrighty, the gearbox is responsive enough, the engine is responsive enough, straight up, simple, yet refined ride, which actually triggers the question. What is important when it comes to a car shopping? And what you actually wanted in a car? Do you like all the flashy gadget bits? Or do you want a car that's genuinely okay to drive? This actually belongs to those cars that does not impress you at the first, but then given some time with the car, you feel like, it's actually not too bad. And more so when you compare with all the other contenders. The Mother Group Chery's vehicle, for example, then the Proton, X50, X70, the Hondas. It does have the driving characteristics of Honda in a way. It does have the ride and handling of Proton in a way. It does have a price tag of China vehicle. So it actually combines all the essential characteristics that somewhat important and crucial. Yet what is lacking on is the ADAS and perhaps some technology wide, which most mass consumer wanted when they look at the specification sheet. And also, we have to mention that this car with a puny 1.5 liter engine, 6-speed dual clutch transmission, the fuel consumption is not going to be beautiful. As a matter of fact, it comes really close, if not slightly worse than the Proton X70 or X50 with around 9 liter per 100 kilometer. But you also have to remember the size of this vehicle and the weight it carries, about 1.6 ton each. If you are looking for a car that are big in size, nice to drive with the least amount of budget, this car is actually very worth your consideration. I might even call it like it's actually a Daihatsu somewhat. Better building quality, less fancy, more practicality. But if you are those who wanted a fancy car or a sporty car to begin with, you would not even look at this brand from the beginning. Trust me. But I would recommend you to go for this if you want something that are humble, down to earth, nice to drive, and no fuss free. I believe this car is fuss free. So up next, we need to see how JETOUR Malaysia expand their after-sales network and support Malaysia customers. They insisted that they are not related to Chery Malaysia. They are separate entities. If you like what we are doing, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe our channel. We also have an Instagram and a web page to be followed. Thank you. See you on the next one.